Hi, this is Javi with my home recording experience. And on series 5 of How Did I Produce a Song in Bloom by Nirvana, we got to the mix episode. So the song's ready, and this is how I mix it. Let me show you. So this is my session here. I like to go drums on the top, bass, guitars, and vocals. This here is when I record the instrument parts. This is the when I recorded the drums, and I've hidden the tracks for when I recorded the guitars and the bass, etc. This is the session layout. Drums, like I said, drums. We have bass, one channel bass, lots of guitars, and vocals. So this will be the top left of the screen is the top on the session. So this is my voice now that I'm recording. I'm coming in with this Neve preamp. Then I'm using this thing, which is I'm trying it out today. It is amazing to reduce the noise. Right now my AC is on and it's incredible. Listen how you can hear the sound of the AC, and when I turn it on, it disappears. It's amazing. It's in real time. And I'm using a compressor here. Yeah, up. So okay, I want to show you instrument by instrument, starting with the drums, and this is how it sounds with my recording. So this is my processing, my parallels. As you can see, as I add them in, it adds a lot to the sound. Basically, this is the sound. Individually, I'm processing each one of them. So let's start with the kick. On the kick in, which is actually the same channel that I'm using to record my voice now. So that's why my voice disappeared. I came in like this with the Neve preamp. There's tons of EQ, some top, high mids and lows. I have no high cut, high pass filter. And then I have a 560 API mostly cutting on the 500s, giving me lows and highs as well on the kick in. So that's my kick configuration, and it sounds like this. So I have expander here. This is the first thing that I do with the kick. Still cleaning it up with 500s here. Then I have EQ, giving it a little of 6.9. Cutting a bit on the hundreds, and a bit on the close to the 500 as well. Compression, and I had these two, but I disabled them. Then for the snare, I have this how I came in recording it. Neve preamp with lots of EQ as well. 560, cutting a little bit of the 500 and a little bit of the super low 60 and 30. So here I'm basically doing the same thing, expander. I am not EQing anything. I am using compression. This is just to add harmonics and saturation. And EQ here, I have 1.5. That's it. Then we have the toms, important in this song. It sounds like this. Oh, I came in Neve preamp. It has a little bit less of EQ, some highs and high mids, using the high pass filter 45. This one as well, high pass filter. I'm giving it 100, 7.2, and a little bit of 10K. 560 here, but I didn't use it, but it adds some stuff, the analog stuff. So I'm using expander here, and I'm doing some EQ. I'm cutting 500s and 100s here, and doing more high pass filter. I do low pass filter as well on this. Compression 1176, harmonics, and a little bit of saturation here, and EQ as well. Little bit of highs, 1.5, cutting 390s and 330s, the boxy stuff. Then I have the overheads, Neve preamp. Just cutting a little bit of the 3K for the cymbals, and lowering the gain here on the fader and the output. Well, actually no, I didn't use EQ here. I was trying it out, cutting a little bit of 3K, but at the end I left them out. And it sounds like this. So they sound good. Those little Rode M5 sound good. For the money you pay for them. Okay, so mono overhead. Again, Neve preamp. Cause this I'm cutting here a little bit of 3K and a little bit of 12K using high pass filter. Lowering the gain here a little bit. Try some stuff, but left it like that. It sounds like this. So this adds to the present in the middle. So the mono overheads, it adds good, on the overall kit, but in the middle, so it adds the punch. And this is on the was an Sphere L22 mic in stereo. It's a stereo mic that I had. I don't have it anymore, but I had it, and it's really good. Came in like this. No EQ, just high pass filter, some gain, and cutting here a little bit. I did use here cutting 500s, a little bit of the super lows. I tried the LA2A and didn't use it at the end. And it adds to the sound like this. So listen that when I turn it on, the sound expands a little bit to the sides, and when I turn it off, it focuses again in the middle. So this is a good thing to like um, automate during the song to give different feels of the drum kit. And how I process this, I use on the overheads, I'm cutting highs, cutting the room sound a little. On the mono, same thing, cutting highs and the room sound. This is the Sphere plugin. I use a 67 model. And cutting here 140s and 4Ks for the harshness, and doing some EQ here. Then here on my parallels, I have this, this is a kick snare and tom parallel with some transient designer and this UA tube compressor that is used as a limiter. Really, really nice. So this is what it does. So it brings it forward, it gives it presence. It's nice. So this is a reverb. So snares and toms for the reverb. And I'm using this on the room. Some processing before. So I'm using this 480 for the reverb, large room setting, and giving it presence with this saturation and some EQ. Then we have a overall drum parallel that I'm sending all drums to here. So this is what is really bringing the drums in front. You know, this is like basically setting the tone for the drums in the track, in the mix. I'm using again this compressor, really, really nice tube compressor, and some distortion here after the compressor to not, you know, affect too much the compression. And then lastly, I have this plugin, the Ocean Wave, to emulate like a big studio room. So it's doing this. It's subtle, but it adds. I mean, I don't like to exaggerate it, so I like it subtle. It adds a really good, you know, studio room feel, which I needed because I'm recording it in my bedroom, basically. So that's the drums. And moving on to the bass, I recorded through this amp modeling here using this cabinet configuration 410 and 115, because the sound on the bass is really like bright and present. So remember what I said about the tone and the picking, all that adds up. Compression coming in down the recording. This is another model of the tube compressors, really, really good. LA2A, and I have this saturation here. So I process it a lot when I come in. Oh yeah, and I'm using tape on all of this, individual channels, and then master tape on the buses. And then this is how I process it, more harmonics and saturation. And this I give it distortion and thump, and this is a little really cool plugin by Andrew Chefs, which it's awesome. And here little EQ to cut on the mod a little bit here, the 200s. And then my parallel, I'm sending it a bit to the ocean wave for the studio room feel and distortion. So this is how it sounds. So as you can see, the distortion adds to the thickness of the sound. And with the drums, bass and drums sound like this. I'm gonna put my recording and then adding the processing. So parallels and processing, that's it for the mix. So look out for that. Okay, so the guitars, we have a lot of guitars. So remember I said that I had 3 microphones on each amp. So these are my Fender microphones, which I'm panning to the left. And these are my Marshall microphones, which I'm panning to the right. And I'm routing everything, to submixes, and then the whole guitar submixes to the final guitar mix. So I'm gonna solo this, and we can be listening to the different parts. Okay, so I explain about the difference on the tones and the sounds, why I'm doing, recording on the Marshall, then on the Fender, different tones, etc., etc. So that all, adds to the production and to the sound on the stereo field and all that stuff. So let's look for the clean sound. So the clean sound is here, this sub mix here. Okay, so that's the clean sound all in the middle, and I'm recording it. I'm using again the 3 mics on the Marshall, and then I use this on the Fender, just one channel to vary the tone a little bit. And that's all going here to the guitar mix. Then we have the chorus. Okay, so goes back to the guitars in the beginning. Then we have the solo, which is this. I actually recorded the solo using the 3 mics on the Fender and the Marshall, but I decided to only use the Marshall sound because the Marshall sound is really present. So with that was enough for the solo sound, and it is like this. you see I add reverb, which I'm doing on the other guitars as well. I'm sending the other guitars to reverb, and the harmonic, the Eventide harmonizer, which I love. It's awesome. I use it on every mix. Every mix. So my whole guitar sub, this is how I have it processed. Just cutting a little bit of hundreds here and doing some high pass filter. Then I'm using this EQ, which I love on guitars, just giving it some high mids, a little bit of low stuff for the thought and presence, and cutting on the super lows. And this I'm using for stereo expander to make them wider, the guitars. And then reverb, plate reverb and delay, and the harmonizer with some distortion before for the presence. So this is the guitars with the whole processing at the beginning with the intro sound. And actually, I'm just sending it to some reverb, and that's it. You process it a lot on the way in when you're recording, so it sounds good at the beginning on the production. So your production is as powerful as it can be. And then we have the vocals. So then here as well we have vocals and doubles of the lead vocals, and then we have harmonies. The Dave Grohl harmonies. So this I'm submixing before the Vox mix. And I have some tape here. And I also have this thing, the Neve summing that UAD has, which is amazing as well. It makes it sound really, really good when you add this thing. So so here's how it sounds, my recording, and well, I have some processing that I'm gonna show you.
Sell the kids for food when the change moods.
So that's with no effects in parallel. So I'm gonna show you the processing. This is on the lead vocal. I'm giving some harmonics. I'm using this thing here, which I'm using in the whole mix. Is amazing. Saturation and thump, and some just a little bit of cutting here. 6500, 6.5K. Then I am cutting here near the 400s, the low mids, and then giving it some highs. Oh, here. I decided to turn off the compression because I'm coming in with a lot of compression. Actually, let me show you here. This is how I'm coming in. Neve preamp with no EQ, actually. Compression here. And then LA to A. So this is a lot of compression already for the recording. And this record, all my vocals came in the same. So no processing on the individual channel, and just giving it this compression here, but at a 2-to-1 ratio instead of the 4, just to give it a little more, and with a slow attack. So this is a really, really good one. The compressor, the 1176. And then the harmonies come around here, and they sound like this.
He's the one, all our pretty songs, likes to sing along.
So on the Vox episode, I said that these harmonies are really really high. So yeah, I had to do them on falsetto. So I gave it some harmonics and a little bit of saturation. Basically, kind of like the same treatment of the lead Vox. I use this LA2A, which is a little faster and brighter, the silver one, and some exterior expander for the harmony, so it has a different presence. And overall EQ on the Vox, on the vocals, cutting some low mids. You're doing some compression here with this Pro C. And then this I decided to leave out. I decided to process it in parallel afterwards, so I'm gonna disable this here. So then this is how it sounds with the parallel. I have a mono delay which I'm using on the verses, and I have it automated so it mutes on the choruses, and I have here delay and reverb on the choruses, so it's automated to being mute on the verses. So mono on the verses in the middle, and then we go stereo wide on the choruses. It's automated. So I'm gonna show you in the verses how it sounds, and then hopefully you'll hear the difference. You'll hear the difference. So this is how it sounds.
Spring's here again.
So notice here that this is not sounding because this is my stereo for the choruses.
Spring's here again.
Okay, so and this is on the chorus.
Someone likes all our pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, buddy.
Remember what I said about the body and the he, so on the Vox episode. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. So to do little by little what the parallel processing is doing, so this is it.
Someone likes all our pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means.
So you see?
Someone likes all our pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, buddy.
So yeah, tape delay mono. I'm using this delay for the stereo. Plate reverb on the vocals. I love it. Using expander, stereo expander on the effects to give it a different presence than the, to give it a different presence on the mono delay on the verses, and just using here mostly harmonizer and flanger for the vocal effects. And then to talk here my master bus chain, I have here my, you've seen me using it in all my episodes, the SSL compressor, Pultec EQ, the Happy Face EQ. I'm doing here a bit of highs and just a bit of on the hundreds and the 750 for mid presence. Here I'm just cutting, the super, super low stuff. And just here a little bit of a 10K. And these are my limiters to bring it up for the level. And then I use this plugin for reference. I'm gonna show you here. I talk about this on the prior series, and you can see here the dynamics. This is the beginning, and this here is when this here is mostly when the verses come in, and then these are the choruses. Really powerful and with the distortion, so it's in your face, compressed. This is verse again. This is chorus, and this is the guitar solo, which is, as you can see, is less loud than the choruses because it's just the solo guitar with the bass and drums. This is full chord guitars, which is louder. It has more low presence. This is the. This is what? This is the. No, this is the guitar solo. So it has a even less here, and then this is the final chorus, which has everything on the song, you know. And this is actually my section exported, and I put it in back into the plugin so I can see my dynamics as well. And you can see that it's pretty close. It has the dynamics at the beginning, and then we go down in the verses, up and full on the choruses, verses, chorus, guitar solo, and then chorus again. And on my song here is the same thing. The high dynamics on the beginning. We have verses. We have then the dynamics on the chorus. We come back again for the verse. We come down. We have the chorus again and the guitar solo a little bit down. Then we have maybe the guitar solo. After guitar solo is the third chorus. So this should be the guitar solo and then the third chorus here. So I'm really happy. I mean, it looks very similar. So it's really good. And just to show you a little bit, hopefully I don't get a copyright claim. Let's see what we can do here to show you the similarity here, if there is some. And as you can see here on the LUFS, I'm basically there. It has the same feel of the song, which I also look for it, and it's quite nice when you get it this close. So yeah, this is what I do. So thank you so much, and I try to keep coming up with these videos. I'm seeing positive comments. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And keep subscribing. I need more subscribers, obviously. Like the video, comment, ask me your questions. I love to communicate with you. Follow me on Instagram on my home recording experience. And thanks again. I'll see you on the next video.